super special episode this week on the Virtual Shelling Network. We are over on the other coast. We took a day trip over here to the east coast of Florida, and we are at Dania Beach, and we have a special guest visiting us today. We have Megan Blackman with Nautical Life Shelling Tours with us today. So we are super excited to check out this beach. I have never been to this beach myself, so I'm super excited to see it. It's very, very different on this coast compared to the west coast. So you guys can see it's very, very different. It's weird having the sun right here because usually like it's on the other side on Sanibel, so it's weird. It's weird having the sun shine on your face when you're looking at the water. Look at all the seaweed. Sand is darker, a little more coarse. There's some turtle nests here, as you guys can see.
Different too.
Very different. Different colored water, very dark. There's some blue in the water over there, but very dark from seaweed. And so we're gonna see what we can find. Oh my gosh, you guys, look. Look how fun, you guys. Lots of coral here. And we are so excited to go through this. Look at all the coral. You guys, look at this giant pile of coral.
Crystal in there.
Oh, look at the little crystal in there, you guys. Can you see it? Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so fun! Wow. Look.
And trash. Good thing they have those trash bags for us.
Look at this.
Oh my gosh, Cora.
I know. Look at all of this coral, you guys. So you guys will be getting some pieces of coral in your beach treasure boxes. Oh, look at the flat scallop.
Broken or not?
Broken or not, it's a keeper. We always keep those pieces. So I'm excited to see the different coral pieces here. We find coral on the other coast, but not like this. Look at this, you guys. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. I just love this. Look at this one.
We haven't even walked, but
we haven't walked yet. We just got here. We're just gonna sit in this pile all day and look for coral. Oh my gosh. So it's good we brought some trash bags with us because there's lots of plastic and beach trash. So here's like a piece of somebody's hat or something. So we'll make sure to collect the trash as we go as well.
How many bottle caps can we get? One,
yeah,
two,
lots
three,
of bottle
four,
caps.
5.
Look at this, you guys. Look at this piece right here. Look how pretty. And look at this scallop right here. Look at this one. Wow, this is so amazing. This is so fun. Here's a little slipper shell. A little yellow slipper shell here. So the shells are a little bit different on this coast too. The scallops, you'll see a lot of the scallops and the arc shells are kind of that blue color and black. I'm so excited to find some different types of shells here. I have no idea what this is. This looks like, I don't know what this is. This is like I don't know if that's like a bug or a shell. It looks like teeth or legs. I don't know what this is. That's kind of crazy. I don't know.
Huh.
It's like crazy, right?
I don't know what that is.
All right, look at this. I think this is, we're trying to remember if it's spiny oyster or thorny oyster or a thorny scallop. I think it's an oyster, but there's a lot of these around. Look at these. Spiny or thorny, I'm not sure, but both fit. Look at this piece of coral. Oh my gosh, so pretty. So we have our shell bag here, okay, that we're gonna be putting stuff in, and then we have a trash bag here. So it's always a good idea when you come to the beach. Ooh, here's a little piece of a flat. It's always a good idea when you come to the beach, bring multiple bags. So bring a bag for your shells and then a bag for your garbage that you see along the way. Here's another oyster. You see the spines here, or the thorns? Whichever it is. I'm not sure which. These pieces are, oh, this looks like a giant piece of a lion's paw.
That is super cool.
Oh my gosh, if I find a lion's paw, I'm just gonna die. Look
Lion's
at this piece
paw,
of coral.
please.
Look at that. That's going home with me. I'm not gonna put it in my shell bag though, but look how pretty that piece of coral is. Oh my gosh, I'm like in coral heaven here. I love finding coral. When we find coral on the other coast too, like on Sanibel, if you're on Sanibel, go to the West End, like Blind Pass. There's a lot of coral there, but not like this.
No.
This is like
Coral.
pretty
Heaven.
crazy. Look how fun. Oh, I like this little piece right here. Plastic. There's another piece of trash. I hate it when I see like a piece of something and I think it's sea glass and then it's just plastic. I get all excited. It's just garbage. It's a trash, lots of trash. Cleaning up the beach as we go. There's a little fighting conch, juvenile fighting conch here. And let's see, here's a little piece of an olive. So we do have some of the same types of shells that you'd find over on the other coast. Wow, there's just so much. So many cool shells here. And it's really hot. Like, not only is it a hot day, but like I can feel the heat coming through these shells and coral pieces on my feet. Puts off some crazy heat. Oh, I'm determined to find a lion's paw today. I know they're over here on this coast. And we haven't even started walking the beach yet. This is just the first thing that we came up on here. And here's another really cool piece of coral. What's that? You guys, look at this this sea vase. So it's a sponge, but it is whole. I can't even get it all in the camera, but look how cool. And it just washed up here. Look how pretty this is. That is so cool. Woo, awesome! Look at these. So we got some pieces of sea glass here. And then we've got a really pretty, I don't know if that's a moon snail or like a Gaudinautica or a different species. The East Coast species. We got a couple pieces of sea glass, a couple pretty little shells here, little mini, tiny shells that I love. And then we've got another piece of a flat. So it is just so fun to be digging. Just put my, oh, look at this. Hold on, let's get my bag. Look at this one right here. Look how pretty. I don't even know what this is, but it's so pretty. Just digging through all of this stuff. Pretty little pieces of coral. I love the coral with like the holes in it like that. It's so pretty. Lots of pieces of shell too. That I'm not really sure like what they are. I found a couple pieces of alphabet cones, so I know alphabet cones are here. There's these kind of tube looking things. I don't know if that's like a crab claw that's kind of starting to fossilize. Here's kind of an interesting looking conch. Here's another interesting looking type of, I guess it's like an oyster shell. This is just so fun and different because I've never been shelling over here before. I've been to this coast a lot, just never to the beach to shell. And we got lucky with this big pile here today. And I don't know if these are like some type of like bittersweet shell. Like, I don't know, there's kind of a few of them. They don't have the pattern that ours have. Look how pretty this one is. It's gorgeous. I mean, even putting these like in your shell bowl display, like right on top. Coral is always so pretty. Look at this flat piece of flat. Oh my gosh. The problem with flats is they're so fragile that it's hard to find them whole. And I really want to find a lion's paw. I've said that like a million times and I'm so determined today to find that. It's an odd looking piece right here. We're seeing some pieces of familiar shells like olives. Here's a little piece of green sea glass. Not perfectly frosted, but it's frosted a little bit. Gotta get tumbled enough to be true sea glass. I hope I'm focused because I can't really see that well with the glare. Oh, this is a cool little worm shell type thing, and a little worm rock here. There's a little Murex, little East Coast Murex. You'll notice too, a lot of these shells are more tumbled because there's more waves here. It's not super wavy today, but we're also between jetties. But usually this coast is a lot more wavy, and therefore the sea glass and the shells get more tumbled. Here's a fun little worm shell here. Here's another really pretty piece of coral. I'm so excited to share this with you guys. This is brand new to me. This is a new experience. I've shelled my whole life here in Florida, but I've never shelled on this coast. I may have as a child. I don't remember. If I did, I don't remember. I'm sure at some point we came to the beach over here in the Miami area, but like I don't know what this is a piece of, but it looks really fun. If I were to find that hole, I would be really excited. Alright guys, I had to switch to my GoPro because it's so hot out here. My phone is overheating. Even though I like have it in a case and I'm holding it with my hand, it is so hot out here. And I forgot my beach shoes today. Not smart, Laura. Look at this big bittersweet right here. So we're gonna go with the GoPro and go check out some shells and see what we can find. Here's another piece of a flat. So I know they're here. It would be so fun to find a whole one. Woo! I'm sinking. Sinking. Here's a little pile. Let's go check out this little pile of stuff here and see what we've got. Here's a little cone. Here's a little top of something. I don't know what that is. Here's another cool piece of coral. Look at these cool pieces. Wow. So awesome. Oh, and here's a buttercup. That's a friendly shell that we know. Not as pretty as ours though on the other coast. So some of these shells aren't quite as colorful as the shells on our coast. But they do have some really unique things over here. Here's another little cone. Oh, it looks like a little baby alphabet cone maybe? Oh, I see some letters on there. Ooh, here's a flat. It's broken, but it's like bigger than I usually find, which is kind of fun. Let's see what we've got down here. I don't know what these little cone looking shells are called, but they're super cute. Lots of these shells that we normally find on the other coast, but they're dark, so they're oxidized. So these are slipper shells. They're just black in color, which is really fun. This is some type of little conch, not a fighting conch, not a Florida fighting conch, something else though. around so you guys can see these cool little shells. I feel like I'm in another country. We just don't. Oh, look at this. I think this is a little tiny coffee bean trivia. I've found a couple of these on our coast. Look how teeny tiny. I don't know if you guys can even see how small that is. Super tiny. I'll find the tiniest, don't worry. I love tinies. Look at this little, I don't know if this is like a moon snail shark eye. I don't know what this is. There's a little piece of, oops, just lost it. Here it goes. Gotta clean that up a little bit. So cute. I'm gonna come down and show you guys these. You guys can see down here. You've got these little like rice olives. And there's another little kind of moon snail looking shell. Oh my gosh, they're so tiny. I could just sit here all day and shell the tinies, as you know. Isn't it weird how their sand is like made up of little broken shells though? It's not like our sand, it's much more coarse and dark. And you like literally can't walk on this sand with your bare feet because it's so hot. You have to have shoes, and even with your shoes, it like burns your feet underneath. Ooh, this is really pretty. I don't know what this is, but it's like one of those really pretty, some type of conch shell. There's a fighting conch. There's a Florida fighting conch right here. You see these at home. I love these little babies. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Here's another really fun piece of coral. Alright, let's go into the water here. I wish I would have brought my water shoes and I forgot them. Let's see how well it goes for me walking in here. So you have to be really careful for stinging creatures on this coast. There are man-o-war and lots of jellyfish here. So you have to be like extremely careful. It's really rocky. I'm gonna have to take my shoes off if I decide to go in there. You guys can see how rocky it is compared to our coast. I mean, it's just all rocks. Let's see if we can find anything fun in here though. There's a really cool piece of a something. Let's see. You guys see I'm like sinking in the sand. It's so different. It's like the sand is really coarse and really soft. Here's a big old shell of some sort. Look at this. Look at that, guys. Look at this big, huge, I don't even know if that's a Caribbean bass shell or what, but that's a big one. That's really cool. See what else we got here. You can find. Ooh, look, you guys see it? Oh, wow. We got two. Look how cool. Look how awesome. Woo. Super fun. These are so cool, you guys. All right, let's see what else we can find here in the water, laying around in this rocky area. I can't believe how like rocky it is here. It's just so crazy. We just don't have that many rocks around where we are on the other coast. Lots of cool pieces of coral though. Super fun. I think the tide hopefully is going out. See, Here's a big piece of something. Look at these big pieces of coral. How pretty is that? That is so cool. Seriously, that is awesome. Alright, let's be careful walking. Look how cool, guys. Like, seriously, I'm so in awe of the coral pieces. So here we have a little bit more clarity, and it looks like we're gonna find more shells here than big rocks. So I'm gonna put my bag down and put you guys under so you guys can kind of hopefully see a little bit more than what you can see above the water. So you won't be able to hear me talk. Bonnet, which is super exciting because they're here. If you find a piece of a shell, then you know that they're there. So that is super exciting. Here's another big piece of whatever those big shells are. I'm not even sure. We're up here by the jetty. The one thing about this beach is a shame there's so much trash. We're picking up as much as we can, but there's so much. Let's get down here and see if we can find anything fun. Here's some little worm shell here. Here's another one of these cute little mini shells. I love these little guys. Here and here. Here. Little cone. Let's see what else we can find in this little pile. These are really pretty. This looks like a piece of a true tulip or something. I didn't know they had those over here, but apparently they must. It's another really pretty piece of coral. Here's another little conch. Little turbo. Gosh, these are pretty, whatever they are. I love those. I need to collect these so they don't get washed away by the waves. Oh, and look at this little, well, it's not little, it looks like a rice olive, but if it is, it's the biggest one I've ever seen. This little shell looks almost like a Wentel trap. You guys see that? Super tiny. I gravitate towards the tinies. You guys know that. Let's see what else we can find in here. little drill of some kind. Oh, here's another, looks like one of those little pink coffee bean trivias there. So many fun shells. Little cone. Here's another one. Oh my god, I love them. Coffee bean trivias were one of my favorite shells as a kid on Marco. I didn't find very many, so it was really special when I found them. Oh, cool looking shells here. Piece of, get the seaweed off of it here, coral, and we got another one of these really pretty conch looking shells. This looks like some type of limpet here. There's a little one right here just waiting for me to pick it up. A little moon snail. I don't even know if they're moon snails, I just call them that because that's what they look like to me. Here's some cool pieces of coral rolling in. Here's a little Narita shell. We don't find those often on the other coast, so that's really fun to find. There's a little shark eye. Do you guys see it right here? Little shark eye. And that was a little olive too. My gosh, this is so fun. So super fun. And I'm loving these tinies, as you guys well know. Tiny shells. There's another Narita snail here. Come in different colors. Oh, and here's a coffee bean trivia that's kind of full size so you guys can see what they look like. They have kind of that like six-pack pattern on the back there. They're not a large shell, but they're bigger than that little tiny teeny baby one. Alright, I'm gonna come down more into where the water is, like the break line so to speak. And oh, look at these. So this right here is a little button shell. This is some type of murex. And right here, this is a little sea urchin spine. How cool is that? And that's another reason why I shell with my shell bags, because this sea urchin spine, if you can see, isn't going to be able to poke through that mesh. And I will not have to worry about whether or not I lose it when I get home. So always make sure that you guys have a really good sturdy shell bag with fine mesh to keep all those little teeny tinies really safe. Let's see what we got here. Another little murex looking shell here. Pull some of this down so the waves can kind of wash it off so we can see a little bit better. This little one hiding here. Oh, look at that. I don't know what this is, but it's certainly is really cute. Is it a little helmet shell? I don't know what that is. That is so cute. I love that. That's little turkey wings. Turkey wings are always fun to find. Alright guys, I'm just going to kind of work my way back and shell in the little break line here and see what we can find. Here's a little worm shell here. I love those little worm shells. And it's hard because so many of these shells are so tiny. So if you have a scooper, that's going to of course help a little bit. You can just take a scoop of these shells and take them up on the beach and dump it out. But if you don't, you are stuck using your eyeballs and your hand. What is that little one here? Oh, it's a little broken one. Lots of these little worm shells. I love these. They're so much darker than the ones we have on our coast. Big oyster shells. Oh, there's part of a, looks like part of an alphabet cone there. Let's come out here a little bit and see if we find anything buried. The waves are picking up a little bit. I gotta go rescue my shoes in a second. It was too hard to walk out here with shoes on. They're so pretty. They're so bright, bright orange. These awesome pieces of coral, you guys. Look at that. That is just so cool. Just buried right here in the sand. So when I come to the beach and dig, especially over here because it is so rocky and the waves are so crazy, there's a lot right underneath the surface here. So I like to take, this is why I like to travel. Ooh, look at this little, oh, it's broken. Look, this is why I like to travel with a claw. This is just a garden claw from Walmart. But if you can see in here, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear because it might be really windy and I might have to do a voiceover, but you're not really digging a hole. I don't like to dig a hole. I like to just break up the sand. So I'm not digging a hole to where somebody's going to, you know, trip and fall in the hole. I'm just breaking up the sand. And then look like what you'll find underneath. Like look at this piece of coral. Look how pretty this piece of coral is right here. That is gorgeous. So what I do is I just kind of break it up. And then when the waves come in, it'll kind of sift through it a little bit. And you'll be able to see a little bit better. So you can see I didn't dig any holes. I just kind of sifted through. So now the waves are going to come up And now you can kind of see a little bit better. Here's a little lucine, it's broken. There's a little lucine, here's an olive. Here's a pretty little conch. Here's a really cool piece of coral. Look at that, that's awesome. So that way, ooh, and this is a cool little shell here. And there's a little Narita shell here, if I can grab it. How cute. Little piece of seaweed on there. So, woo, grab my shell bag over here. And then here's a little urchin spine right here, little sea urchin spines. Their sea urchins are very different on this coast than we have over in the Gulf. But you guys will be able to see, like you can just see a little bit better. So I know there's a lot of discrepancy against digging. There's people that come and literally dig like holes, like with a shovel. And I just want to be clear that I do not dig a hole. I am just kind of stirring up the sand so I can just see what's underneath. That's all I'm doing. And then once the waves come in, it'll help me see a little bit better. Alright, so the waves just came in again. And I'm just gonna look through and see what we can find. Here's a little piece of coral here. There's some more little pieces of coral. It just like allows me to see so much better. And up here we've got a little conch here. Here's a little stew. Here's a good one. That's a good one. Now the waves are starting to come in a little bit better. Whoops! Dropped my glasses right off my head. And here's another little olive. It's raining on and off since we've been here, but it's starting to rain a little bit harder now. I love these little things. I have no idea what they are, but they're so cute. Or, you know, me and tiny shells, so. You guys will see when I leave this pile, and I'll stand over here so you guys can see. Hold on, I'm trying to focus. My screen is wet. There's no hole. You guys see that? You can easily just walk right on here. It's not like I'm digging with a shovel and creating a hole that is going to entrap a sea turtle or anything like that. So just keep in mind when you're digging, I always try to just be very respectful of other beachgoers and wildlife, and I don't dig a hole. I just dig around. Hopefully that makes sense. Here's a little conch. This looks like a little Florida fighting conch right here. Little NASA right here. Toss that in the shell bag. It's a little button shell. So like I always say, guys, the shells aren't always just laying out on the beach. Sometimes you gotta really look and seek them out. coral that I'm uncovering too. Kind of fun. So amazing. Isn't this so cool? One thing I've noticed is we're finding lots of broken pieces, and it's so rocky here. Oh, look at this. Is this a little carrier shell? It's a little carrier or a sundial? I'm not sure which. But it's so rocky here, and the waves are so much bigger than on our coast that it's just hard for the shells to make it and landfall without any damage. So that's why I imagine it's very, very rare to find a whole flat scallop, or, you know, that's one of the reasons why sea glass is so fun around here. I did find a really big piece of sea glass. Let me just pull it out real quick. Look at this. This beautiful, big, thick, perfectly rounded frosted glass chunk of green. So that was really fun. And sometimes you will find like broken glass, but just remember, if it's not rounded and frosted, it's not sea glass. And you want to be really careful because you can cut yourself on it. So always make sure that you're being very vigilant about some of the little olives. Their olives are kind of funny looking over here. They've got like the little pink stripes or the little pink dots at the top. So just be very careful when you're walking around a place like this where there's a lot of glass, because it usually means there's a lot of like regular glass too, and you don't want to get cut. There's a cool little shell. I don't know what that is either, but that's awesome. Looks like it could be related to the drill family. This is just so much fun. I'm having like such a great time with Megan today. Here's a really cute little piece of coral here. Is that in the shell bag? Ooh, what's this? Ooh, I don't know what it is, but it's cool looking. Wow, I don't know what this is, but it is so neat. Oh, look, there's a little teeny in between. You see it in there, stuck in the aperture? Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to get that out when we get home. That is so cute, and what a cool shell. Oh wow, I'm just loving finding all these awesome shells. I should have studied up on my shells, but this was kind of a last minute little excursion that we decided to come on, Megan and I. Megan and I usually go shelling together on 10,000 Islands south of Marco. So if you're in the area, you're on vacation, and you want to go on a really cool shell tour, be sure to check out her tour at Nautical Life Shelling Tours. You can find them on Facebook, and she will show you all the really great spots to shell in the 10,000 Islands. So she and I are both having so much fun today finding different shells than we normally would find over on our coast. I need a big wave to come and sift through this stuff for me. There's a really pretty orange piece of something. Oh, that would have been so pretty. Look at that. Alright, let's spread this out and see if we can get a wave. And oh, I need a little bit bigger of a wave than that. Oh, maybe not. Let's sift through. Ooh, this is a cool piece of coral. Look at that one. That's really neat. Little button shell here. Ooh, here's a cool piece of coral too. That one. That one's really neat. Lots of these. Don't know what they are, but lots of them. They kind of remind me of a little bit of a nutmeg type of shell. Here's another one right here of a different color. This is a really cool shell too. Kind of like a seraph of some sort. Awesome. Alright guys, so we're back at the big pile here, and I just wanted to dig through this a little bit more before we go and see what else we can find. There's some really cool things in here. I think the most interesting thing to me, here's a little piece of sea glass, nicely frosted. Let's see if I can focus. It's raining right now, so my phone doesn't want to focus very well. This little piece of sea glass. Let's see if I can clean off my lens. There we go. I think that besides the awesome coral pieces, which is a given, I think one of the most interesting things to me is like the different shells. But the shells are very similar to the shells that we have on the other coast, but they're just like a different family. So, which is really kind of fun. See what we can find here. Megan found a really cute alphabet cone. And I found a couple pieces of alphabet cone, so we'll see if we can find another whole one here. Oh, here's a little limpet. Here's a little limpet. And here, hiding in this shell, is one of these. I'm not sure if this is a Triton. Not really sure. It's really cute. Lots of these little guys here. Falling over. I'm gonna bring my shell legs closer to me. I don't know what this is either, but it's really pretty. Cool. Here. I really do love these big orange, look at that, these big orange oyster shells. I just think they're so fun. And all the coral pieces. I'm in like coral heaven today, which is super awesome. Look at that one. Cool. find a deeper pit. Let's go over here. Grab my bag. This is why a claw comes in handy. You don't kill your hands or your nails. These pieces. I think these are like my favorite. I think they're so cool. There's another big bittersweet. Look at that. It's a big one. These coral pieces are just so cool. Look at these. So neat. Oh, this would have been a pretty, it's like a helmet maybe. Pretty. Getting closer. It's like a goal to find whole shells here. I think so many of them are broken. If we find a whole one, we get excited. Ooh, here's one of these that are like crystallized. Look at this. Looks like honeycomb. I don't know if you guys will be able to see the crystallization. So cool. This looks like a good spot here. A piece of sea glass here. Oh, I love these too. These are really cool. It looks like a barnacle, but it's a piece of coral you can see on the bottom. They're so cool. Ooh, that would have been so pretty, man. Alright guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode on the Virtual Shelling Network. Super fun shelling